You can't change somebody's character, but you can change the way a person presents themselves. What happened with Brexit was people taking back control. As an opinion manager, a campaign consultant, fixing personality negatives is a lot easier than fixing character negatives. You don't change Donald Trump, you don't manage him. I'm not a lobbyist. As far as the Yanukovych administration is concerned, you will see, if you do any fact-checking, that I was the person that negotiated the framework which is based upon which Ukraine is now a part of Europe. That was my role, that's what I did, and when it was completed, I left. Once again, the New York Times has chosen to purposefully ignore facts and professional journalism to fit their political agenda, choosing to attack my character and reputation rather than present an honest report. The suggestion that I accepted cash payments is unfounded, silly, and nonsensical. Many women feel they can't afford their lives, their husbands can't afford to be paying for the family bills. Hillary Clinton is guilty of being part of the establishment that created that problem. Mr. Trump of course feels sorry for what the Khan family has gone through, just, frankly, as he felt sorry for the victims that spoke before the Republican convention who lost loved ones from illegal immigrant criminals coming in and being able to travel the country freely. The issue that Mr. Trump is talking about and which, really, frankly, I expect the media should be talking about is protecting the American homeland from national security risks and terrorists. Those are the two issues, protecting the homeland and stopping the war and going after ISIS in a way that ends the terrorism. Please, let's talk to American families and sit around the dinner table at night figuring how to pay their bills. There are some Senate candidates who aren't sure Trump is in their interest yet, but they'll come along. The Never Trump movement was never going anywhere. The national polls are distorted. To get a national sample, they rely too much on Hispanics from New York and California, which is where large populations are but also where most of the radical Hispanics are. Trump was doing very well on a model that made sense, but now, as the campaign has gotten to the end stages, a more traditional campaign has to take place. The reality is, Ted Cruz has seen his best day. It depends on who you talk to if I'm part of the establishment or part of the anti-establishment. I have run campaigns. That doesn't make you the establishment. What makes you the establishment is if you buy into it. Trump is an outsider, maybe you don't know. So he is sitting in a room, he is talking business, he is talking politics. In a private room, it's a different persona. When he's out on the stage, he is talking about the kinds of things he's talking about himself. He's projecting an image that's for that purpose. Donald Trump was not asked by the leadership to change, and there's no reason for him to change. He's just won the primary process with a record number of votes, beating a field of 16 qualified candidates. So, there's no reason for Donald Trump to change. You talk to tax attorneys who are not politically motivated, and they will tell you they would never advise their client to release any tax information in the course of an audit. I have one client, Donald Trump. Benghazi was a tragedy. Libya is a tragedy. The rise of ISIS is a result of Obama and Clinton making a decision to pull our troops out without preparing Iraq is a colossal mistake. Leadership is failing, and Donald Trump is going to take a holistic approach to how we focus on these things, and he's not going to allow disparate activities in the communities to define everything. The point is the country has got serious problems dealing with terrorism, both domestic and international. The conversation we should be having is, what does Russia have from Hillary Clinton's server? Trump is very plugged in, he's very connected. Donald Trump is talking about the failed leadership of the Obama administration. Mr. Trump's position has been clear from the beginning, he's under audit. When the audit is completed, he'll release his returns. By the way, in Mrs. Clinton's returns, you saw a lot of income coming from donors to the Clinton Foundation and people who benefited from her State Department term as well. Reince Priebus is a strong supporter of Donald Trump and a good friend and supporter of Paul Ryan. My work in Ukraine ceased following the country's parliamentary elections in October 2014. Trump is in the position to be the next president of the United States, given the mood in America today. I was about 15, 16 years old when my father first ran for mayor, and that's where I cut my teeth. Like my father, Trump also understands working-class Americans. The role that I played in Ukraine ended up resulting in Ukraine becoming part of the European community. We've noted that the Clinton camp was the first to get it out there, trying to say there was something untoward about the speech Melania Trump gave. It's just another example, as far as we're concerned, that when Hillary Clinton is threatened by a female, the first thing she does is try to destroy the person. I've never dealt with the Russian government, I've never had a relationship with the Russian government. As I've said many times, Yanukovych was a pro-Western, not pro-Putin, president. If there's anyone who's against Wall Street, it's Donald Trump, not Hillary Clinton, who basically lives off of the funding from Wall Street. I don't think this election is about Hillary Clinton. This election is about Donald Trump. Pence is a fan of fundraising and does enjoy doing it. Trump is not a fan of fundraising, but he's willing to do it. Brexit is really a good forerunner of what's going to happen here in November, I think. The same angst that drove that vote is driving the American election. Where there is terrorist activity, Syria or Iraq, we will temporarily suspend immigration until we can establish a vetting system in which we can identify who people are who are coming in. Donald Trump figured out that the campaign for a moderate presidency is different than it's been in the past. He didn't put together a traditional campaign. The Republican Party is a composition of the members of the party and not just the leadership. Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.